Hello everybody, and it's time once again for game dev. We will continue on with what we were doing this morning, or I guess just a couple hours ago, I guess. Yeah, so we're working on the corrupted sword artifact for the paladin. So we got to copy all the corrupted abilities. So we got to see if that works. Anyway, hello Johan, welcome back. Another bonus stream, yes indeed. Yes indeed. Any day now. All right, so let's see if this works. So passive, oh, we need to set up the description prefix. Just realized this is probably not going to work for translations, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Okay, anyway, let's see if this works. So I'm going to get some corruption in here. Hello, Mel's, welcome back. Good to see you again. Oh, excuse me. Sage is not a weapon. That's not a weapon either. Well, shucks. Why is that working? Oh, I'm just filtering by is owned by player, right? This needs to be base card dot card definition resource, or actually we could do base card dot has tag card tag dot weapon. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's try it again. I love your nomenclature. You barely seem to need comments because you can understand your code from just reading the variable and function names. Yeah, thank you. That's what I try to do. I try to make my code such that comments are not necessary. And if you want to make comments unnecessary, part of what you have to do is name things well. Let's see. Can I get, okay, I got two legendaries before I got corrupted. How is that possible? I should add a debug setting to be able to change my corrupted chance. Okay, corrupted. So this one copied the corrupted, 10% chance to exhaust this item. Cool. Okay, so we're copying the corrupted abilities, so that's good. Let me rebuild the translations as well. Let's see. Oh, goodness. I'm losing track of my windows. Here we go. Okay, let's build the translations again. Get that all up to date. Okay. So the next thing to do then is to give this some damage based on its corrupted abilities. So there's that. We copy this. Alrighty then, that all looks correct. Let's create a damage per corrupted ability now. Do I want a card data provider? Const int base damage per corrupted ability. Let's do 4. Bar current damage per corrupted ability is equal to base damage per corrupted ability. Do I want to use this card data provider? Why is this not working? This needs to be an int. So essentially I want to count up all the corrupted abilities in here and then multiply by the current damage. Okay. I guess we didn't need to store that in a variable, but whatever. Corrupted count times current damage per corrupted ability. Oh, okay. So var dynamic damage is equal to new dynamic magnitude ability, generic damage provider, and then new damage 0. Damage per corrupted ability. Then we do card data provider, dynamic damage, scaling func, scalar is equal to ability scalars dot get damage scalar. Current damage per corrupted ability is equal to Base damage per corrupted ability times tier. Okay. Description template. Deal 0 keywords dot damage per keywords dot corrupted ability. Okay, we're gonna put current damage per corrupted ability in that string placeholder there. This is ability artifact damage per corruption. Okay. Actually, this should probably be ability artifact corrupted sword. Yeah. Okay, and then additional keywords is equal to keywords dot corrupted. Alrighty, and then damage per corrupted dot set description prefix, get prefix name. And then up here, damage per corrupted dot duplicate. Alrighty. Let's see if that works. Also, I should test and see if it upgrades properly. Hello, Emerson, welcome back. Hello, Clickertail, good to see you again. Boy. How's the development of your game so far? It's going well. Thank you, Celestial General. It's going well. I mean, we're at July now, which means I'm running out of time to finish the game if I want to finish it this year, so gotta be very, very, very particular about what I work on from here on out. Very particular indeed. I think mostly what I need to do is just balance in content, so actually let me look at the card statistics tool. We have 210 absolute cards. I'd like to get somewhere around 350 to 400 by the time the game launches. So yeah, gonna have to create a lot more. Spend the remaining time making the cauldron look increasingly incredible, yeah. All right. Oops, I guess I need to rebuild this. Okay, so let's see if we can get some corruption. Okay, so hopefully that will work. Let's just go ahead and give it a shot. I should be dealing 4 damage, then 6 damage. And +2, okay. Yeah, Scythe dealt 10 damage, so that's correct. That is correct. Okay. Let's see if I can get some more corruption on this. Just make extra double sure that this is going to work. Yeah, it seems to be working. course, I'm damaging myself now, but that's all right. Do corrupted abilities get upgraded? I don't believe so. Maybe they do, actually. Is this tier scaling not working? Oh, the tier scaling is not working there either. Why is that the case? Why is it the case that artifact abilities are not being scaled? I guess that's not something that I've ever done in the game, so maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't worry about it right now. But just get rid of the scaler there. And since we're not tracking any scale, we'll just do base damage per corrupted ability. Well, that'll work. That'll work. Developing any software with no stress is generally fun for your average programmer, but how does it compare to making games that need to meet a standard and a deadline? Is the fun still there? Yeah, I mean, I think deadlines are good because they will force you to make decisions about what you need to do to get the game done. So yeah, I think generally speaking, like in my case, the deadlines aren't super, like they're not super hard deadlines. I mean, I want to try to meet them. I'm going to meet them. But at the same time, like if I miss the deadline, it's not the end of the world, right? But I think deadlines are good because they give you another constraint to work with, force you to make decisions about what you actually need to spend your time on and not. And so now that we're into July now, you know, I've got the month of July and then, you know, 4 months after that before we hit the end of the year. You know, that means that I'm going to have to spend a lot of time doing the things that actually need to be done rather than, you know, all these little minor improvements that I'm trying to make. But yeah, I think it's still fun, yeah. The new animations are great for a future hand-holding mechanic. I knew that was coming. Welcome back, Ungi Bungi. Never released a paid game before, but I have done some monetization in my games. Oh, that's good. Did you, was there a different message there? I never get anything finished until I started participating in design contests, making 3D printed stuff. Kind of unlocked being able to finish stuff in general for me. Yeah. Deadlines are very important. I think this idea of having like no deadlines for yourself, that's a great way to never finish anything because you don't have a concrete goal, right? You don't have a goal to work towards. And so you just end up, you know, doing a bunch of random unfocused stuff. Let me think about something real quick. Hold on. Okay, sorry. I was just thinking. Okay, so I think this artifact is good. So that's the artifact for the paladin. Honestly, this may be the whole list of characters that release with the game. I don't know if I'm going to have another... I don't know if I'm going to have more time to make more characters. But I also don't need... I don't know if I need to make more. Let's see. Is 6 characters enough to launch with? I think so. Of course, I can patch in more characters later, but... First message was eaten. That's what I figured, because it sounded like that message was part of another message. Being good at crafting its own type of fun, it will be hard at times, but working hard itself is worth it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Constraints are pretty much a must for anything creative. It feels like it should be the opposite, but it's really not. Yeah. Yep. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. So let's just round out the paladin character so that way we can move on to other stuff. Okay. We will give the paladin something like 70 starting health. We're going to give the paladin 0 starting blood. We need to determine the starting board size. We need the platform decoration texture. We also got to create a platform for him in the character select screen. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do here. Also, I need a new name for him. Okay, Dark Paladin. I need name. Flavor text, platform, character, texture, board size. Okay, board size should be an easy one to figure out. Wonder if the dude that made the paladin low spec ever saw what you've done with it. I wonder that too. I wonder that too. Welcome back, Asymmetrics. Good to see you. Okay, so this guy's a 3x3 board. Brittle Bones has a 5x3 board. I'm gonna nerf Brittle Bones a little bit. 4x3 instead. For the paladin, let's do 3x4. We'll just do the other orientation. Okay, what weapon cards do we actually have in the game? No, not card inspector. Card inspection tool. So card inspection tool, we're looking for weapon, ally. Oh, should I start him with the tentacle? I'm thinking tentacle scythe, maybe? These have the exact same cooldown. That's interesting. I think the scythe cooldown is a little bit high anyway, so I'm going to turn this down to 52. We'll give him the scythe and the tentacle. I think maybe one other one, although that might be fine. Will the tentacle and scythe actually fit on his board, though? That's the question. That is the question. Oh, I have a card called Paladin and a character called Paladin. Very cool. Okay, tentacle. All right, we got to put this guy into the character select now. Arrange characters. I don't know what I'm doing. Paladin platform. Is that it? Is that all I need to do? Oops, that's not good. Why did it arrange them like that? I might have to change how this works. But yeah, look at that. The scythe and the tentacle fit. That's good. Oh, I gotta configure the starting artifact as well. All right. How do I do that? Starting artifacts. What does this tool do exactly? Which tool is it? Sorry, I was not looking at the chat. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what tool you're referring to. Oh, was it the card inspection tool? This one? This basically is just a way of me viewing all the items in my game. And then I have filters here, so I can filter by what abilities they have, but I can also filter by what tags they have, and I can filter by ally or enemy. So yeah, it's just a matter of loading up all the cards and then just applying the filters to them based on what's selected. And then the export CSV just dumps all of them to a CSV file. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's basically the tool. Star Citizen is what happens when you have no constraint. Yeah, that's true. Do I do game dev full time? Is it a side thing? Yeah, full time right now. We will see. When Alka Mortis comes out before the end of the year, we will see what the future is. Yes, I am doing full time. How do custom resources work? The custom resources are basically just like pieces of data. You can export a bunch of variables from them. So character definition resource. So this is my custom resource. I have all these export properties, and then they're like any other resource in Godot. You could just load them from the disk and they will be loaded with all of this information from the file. And then you can work with them. So it's basically like, it's just a nice way of being able to configure data through the editor and then have access to that data from the code when you load it in, right? Yeah, I got you now. Random needs, I got you. So this starts with the corrupted sword now. So we got a character select. Tooltip is not working here. That's fine. I think that's expected because I'm not running the game properly. Okay. That seems to be working just fine. So now we need to do the character, we need to do the platform for him. Okay. All right, give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. I need to get a refill of my water. It's completely empty. See? Anyway, BRB. Okay, sorry for the delay. Hello, GD Crazy, welcome back. All right, we need to draw the platform art now for the Paladin, so let's do that. If I can remember where that is. Where is that? Well, I guess it would be faster for me to just go here and see. Assets UI character select. Here. Okay. Alrighty, so now we need to do one for the Paladin. What? Do you like commuting red? I don't know what that means, but okay. Welcome, Fletch Charge King, by the way. When do you think this game is ready to release? Before the end of the year. Before the end of the year. I have to get all the content done. I mean, I think once the content is done and the balancing is done, it should be good to go. Content, balancing, and bug fixes and polish. Those are the things that need to be done. The content, I mean, we'll have to see. You know, I want to hit a content goal of like 350 items in the game. I think that would be good, but you know, there may be less than that or more than that, depending on how it goes. So what are we going to do for this decoration here? And do like a scythe, like usual. Maybe, can I do some kind of helmet? How would that look? Maybe that'll work. Yeah, I don't see why not. Trying to just think of decorations that would be different enough from everything else. Well, for now, let's just work on this one. Oops. Yeah, I may want to do some white pixels there. This may be too, well, okay, that's probably good. Yeah, that's probably fine. Okay. Anyway, okay. Hopefully that reads enough as a helmet. Maybe I'll just, that's probably fine. Oops. Okay, let's copy this. I just want to see what it looks like if I were to mirror that over there. Not that great. So I need something on the other side. I'm also not super happy with how this looks. I think maybe I need to just update the colors a little bit. Get rid of this. Okay. That's probably fine. What do we want to do over here now? Could do maybe some kind of like weapon rack. Maybe that will work. Maybe. It's really hard to do spears when you don't have a lot of pixels to work with. Okay, that's probably fine. Nope, it's not fine. Well, we'll see how this goes. This may end up being a little bit too big, but we can always figure it out. Can always figure it out. Seemed like a natural pixel art. How long did it take you? I can't make much art without hand drawing a reference image. Yeah, I've been doing this for several years now, so it takes a while. Trust me. Like it's getting to this point where I could relatively quickly create new assets was very difficult, and it took a lot of effort. And I'm still learning a lot. Like, you know, if you watch the stream regularly, you'll see me struggle with a lot of the art and stuff. So yeah, but it takes a long time for sure. And even now, you know, I may be struggling with this exactly because there's some weird colors going on here. Maybe, yeah, that kind of thing is not super appealing, but I can probably, well, let's not do it there. I don't know. This is probably not going to look that great. But yeah, it took me a couple years to get to this point, and even still, you know, I'm gonna struggle with some stuff quite frequently. Okay. This kind of thing is where the shading gets a little weird. Okay, that's probably fine. Okay, moving on. And I don't even know, this may end up being too big, but we will see. Yeah, this is the kind of thing where I'm gonna have to probably create that separation there, which is fine. Yeah, I don't know if that looks much like a spear, but it's whatever. We'll just work with it. Actually, these things back here can probably be darker. Oh, okay. All right. I think we can call that good for the paladin decorations. There we go. I think it looks presentable. It looks enough like a weapon rack, I suppose. Today I had a hard time with GDScript. It's hard to understand. I struggle a lot with velocity.x and stuff, also if statements. Yeah, that's just that's just beginner programming things. Oh, is my background music not working anymore? Oh my gosh, YouTube, are you serious? Gotta love when YouTube. oh, I want to stream your video in the background and you're going to pause my video and ask me if I'm still watching. Why? So you can save the bandwidth. I'm using the video, gee dang it. Don't pause it for me. Goodness gracious. Ugh. Anyway, but yeah, that's just like new programmer stuff. Programming is really hard. Like, it's just really hard. It requires a whole different way of thinking than what most people are used to. It requires very like systematic thinking. There's a lot of foundational and fundamental knowledge you have to become proficient in it. It's hard. So if you get stuck on stuff, like that's just part of the learning process. I was in your same boat. I was in your same boat at one point in my life too, just like struggling with very basic things like if statements, wondering why I couldn't get the syntax right or wondering why my logic wasn't working and getting frustrated and all that stuff. And that's just part of what happens when you're learning, especially something as complex and difficult as programming. So, yeah. What do I do for this now? Do I just export this whole thing like this? I suppose I do. Export. Okay. New character or old new character? Old new character, yeah. Still working on the paladin. Gotta make sure you're watching to show you ads, that's true. Hello, Zelda Techie, welcome. To be a good programmer, you just need to be a big nerd. That is also true. Learning programming takes time, especially the mindset you need to be in to think programmatically. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a different way of thinking, like I said. Okay, so let's go to the paladin, and we're gonna paladin. Where is that? Here. Let's take a gander. Oh, that looks pretty good with him on it. I guess the perspective is a little bit weird, but that's all right. It doesn't matter. Does it matter? Do I want the character to be behind the decorations? Let me think about this. How does this even work? So, selectable character. Add child selectable character. Oh, I see. Oops. Oh, this is its own thing. Well, it's probably fine. It's a minor detail. I can't get hung up on the minor details anymore because we ought to release the game. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Brittle bones. Oh, I was going to change Brittle Bones moth color. That's right. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what happens. Let's turn off skip menu. Oops. Turn off skip menu. Claude is the biggest of nerds. That is true. Welcome back, Lux Spark. Started programming in my 20s. Thankfully, I've been a big nerd for 20 years before that, so it's pretty easy to pick up. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. Like, I think, certain people... Oh, that was not good. Certain people have aptitudes for, like, art or writing or mathematics or programming. So if you don't have, like, a natural inclination to programming, it's probably going to be even harder to pick up. And, I guess I don't really know what natural inclination means. I mean, it's definitely the case that there are some people, like me, for example, where even when I hit a roadblock in programming, I was like monomaniacally focused on always like fixing it. Like I couldn't think about anything else except how to fix this problem. And I guess if you have that kind of trait, it makes it maybe not necessarily easier to learn, but easier to stick with it so that you can learn. And I'm sure there's something similar for like art and stuff. Like prior to me getting decent at art, I couldn't stand it because it was just a constant struggle, right? And I never had the interest in trying to struggle through it. I'm an Adobe Flash baby, the glory days. Oh, this is not even working because, well, I have all these debug settings on, but anyway. So I think the Paladin is pretty much done now. There are a couple of issues that I need to fix actually, so let's fix those. So like there's a big glitch there with his physics thing. This physics thing is just going to be an absolute menace, I think. It's going to be an absolute menace. Okay, so anyway, let's do this. Configure Paladin. Right, add Paladin platform texture. Okay, so the Paladin platform texture is in. Let's see if we could fix these stupid, dumb things. Okay, let's do this. I actually don't know what I'm going to do for this. Character Paladin. Process mode. When node.process mode is set to process mode disabled. So let's do, I don't know, let's just set process false? Or no, set... Rope root.process mode is equal to process mode enum.disabled. Okay. Skull1.process mode is equal to process mode enum.disabled. Actually, is it easier just to do... Can I just do top level physics simulation process? Yeah. Let's just grab a reference to that node. I think that should propagate through everything, I think. Node top level, what is it called? Physics. Why did I call this so fancy? Top level physics. Okay. Top level physics. Top level physics.process mode is equal to process mode enum dot disabled. So my hope is that I disable the physics. I call initialize physics in a deferred manner. Initialize physics. We're going to do, let's update the positions of these things first. So Yeah, let's grab these. I'm going to need to change. Do I need to change the lines as well? I don't think so. So let's do this. Let's grab this. Update physics positions. Update physics positions. Put this in here. Okay. So we're going to say update physics positions, and then we're going to do top level physics.process mode. So go to process mode enum.inherit. Okay. And I don't need this is physics initialized anymore. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I hope that will stabilize it. It did not stabilize it. Okay, that's not even close. That's not even close. What is going on? Are you serious to me right now? Do I need to actually explicitly set the process mode of all these things? All right, let's do this instead. Private node 2D. Physics process nodes. Physics process nodes is equal to... let's just do all of them. Let's do top level physics, rope, root. I don't have references to the pin joints. I probably need those. Really? Main, pin joint. Okay, pin joint 1, pin joint 2. Okay. I should probably also do set physics process to false, just in case. I wonder if I need to move the skulls as well. What happens if I do... Well, let's just see if that works first. I doubt it's going to work, but simply cannot transfer images in my head to a paper. It's a skill I have practiced a bunch, but I can't seem to get a hang on it. Some people it just comes easy seemingly. Yeah, that's a mystery. I don't know how that works. We all have predispositions that we... Oh my gosh, I can't talk. We all have predispositions and we should take advantage of them. In game dev, pretty much every ability can be very useful. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, like a lot of people will be good at programming and they won't be good at art, and they'll see that as a weakness when it comes to game dev. But the way I see it, it's like if you have a programming capability that other people don't have, let's just say that you're like a top 10% programmer or whatever, right? Then you're going to be able to make games that are so technically complex that basically no other game developer, no other indie developer has the capacity to make that, right? So the example that comes to my mind is Factorio. Like, Factorio is just a feat of technical engineering, regardless if it's a game or not, right? Because there's so much simulation happening, and it all happens in real time at a stable frame rate despite having these massive factories. And it's like, I can't make Factorio. You know what I mean? I can't do that. Those guys are on a totally different level in terms of like making technical systems. That it's like, I wouldn't even be able to make Factorio if I tried, you know? But then you have like the artsy narrative games, like the really popular walking simulators. It's like, I wouldn't be able to make those either because I don't have strong narrative skills or environment design skills or anything like that, right? So yeah, like you said, there's a place for everyone. Why isn't this working? Do I need to change the process of, or the skull position? Let's just set it to rope root dot global position. I gotta figure out how to wrestle with these physics now. How many nodes for this alone? I mean, yeah. That's one of the weird quirks about Godot is like, if you're trying to do a more sophisticated thing, you might have to use a lot of nodes for it. What in the heck is going on? Why is it doing this? I don't need to change the pin joint 2D positions, do I? I don't think so. Maybe I do. Maybe I do need to change the pin joint positions. But why wouldn't that be the case then? I mean, does it still work if I just go into the game? Are we dealing with IK right now? No, there's no IK in this game. Thank you for the subscription, Zelda Techie. I very much appreciate that. You now have access to the snail cat emote. Oh, that's not even working anymore. You now have access to the snail cat emote. Oh, you know what? I don't want to set these. I want to set that separately in here. Well, I broke something. Factorio's crazy. It's a technical wonder. Really, it is, yeah. I watched the full gameplay of Baby Steps a few days ago. I was impressed by the quality of the level design. I could never pull off something like that. Yeah. I wouldn't dare pull off whatever's on that rope. Why is this happening? I don't understand. Are my physics getting, like, stuck down here? What's going on here? Debug, visible collision shapes. Let's just see how far off it is. Line breaks don't work. Oh, yeah. Just pretend the ghoul is riding the snail cat. Does this visible collision shapes even do anything? In case you can't tell, I'm panning the camera down. What the heck? F, man. What is going on? All right, let's print. Man, I'm trying to think, is there a better way of doing this? Yeah, it's just falling forever. It's at 8,000 pixels. Let's just crank that soldier boy right there. See what that does. That is not working. Why is it just continually falling? Interesting. See, the problem is I don't even know why this is happening, so I don't know what to do to fix it. Like, obviously, this change here broke things more than it helped, so if I just get rid of this, we should be back to normal, at least in the overworld. But that doesn't help me because it doesn't fix the problem with the character select. And it also doesn't fix this problem of the character. It's the same, like there's, what is going on? Like you got the skulls over here and like something's happening up there. I don't even know. I don't even know. So this is a little bit concerning. The only other thing I can really think of at the moment is, yeah, the physics are just so wonky. I don't know. The only other thing that I could think of is create this as a separate scene and then instantiate it after all the character positions have like settled, and then just like instantiate them at the arm position. But I don't know about that either. I think maybe fundamentally the problem is that this is a top level node. So I think here's what's happening. I think this is what's happening. So this node 2D breaks the transforms, right? So the reason why this node 2D is sitting here is because it will no longer inherit the transforms from the parent, right? So that means that wherever the character is in space, however it's rotated or scaled, none of those things are going to be passed along to any of these nodes. So the problem is, like, let's say that I instantiate the character paladin and I add him to the tree, but then after I add him to the tree, I move him somewhere else. Well, what's going to happen is this rope root is going to be at the world origin or near the world origin point. It's going to be at the world position of 10, -15, I think. And so, but on the next frame, it's going to get whipped all the way back to wherever the player's hand is. And my assumption is that that's such a great distance that the physics just completely breaks. Like it doesn't end up going back to the arm position very nicely. So I have sync to physics off, but that causes problems too. Oh, maybe it's fine now. Okay. So sync to physics fixes it. It still starts way up there though. So if I do sync to physics plus, I mean, the other problem too, though, is it's not working in the unlock menu, but let's just, let me think about this. I think my hunch, my intuition is right about the position being set after. Is there a nicer way of, like, ideally what I'd be able to do is, and maybe actually this is what I could do. Ideally what I'd be able to do is disable all of these, move them generally to where the hand is, and then re-enable them. Can I do that? Is that going to work? Because what I would do, I think, is I would just add another node 2D here, rope global root or something like that. And we put these here. This complains every single time now. I don't know why. Okay, so we've got the rope global root. So let's just do this. This is going to be a little bit finicky. Is there a way to like recursive call functions? Recursive call function Godot. No, recursive call function on nodes in tree. Well, we could do something easier, I guess. So we've got the rope global root. So let's do this. We're going to kind of do a modified version of what I just did. Rope global root. In here, here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to say for each var node in root global rope global root dot get descendants node.process mode is equal to process mode enum.disabled. Okay. So now in here, we're going to say rope global root dot global position is equal to rope root dot global position, or this would actually be rope target position. So we move all those things over there. We'll call that 2, I guess. We don't care about that necessarily. And then we'll do rope global root, get all descendants, re-enable that, set physics process to true. I have no idea if that's going to work. Probably not. That's a long arm, yeah. Hello, Real Crudo. Welcome back. Looks pretty funny. It does, yeah. Hello, Ninja Link. Good to see you. 150 stream streak. Dang. Ninja Link's been here for like 80% of the development. Yeah. Why top level physics is node and node, not node 2D. I think I just explained that, but basically, it prevents the transforms from being inherited. Color-coded resource tree. Haven't seen that before. Yeah, that's a Godot 4 feature, I think, since Godot 4.4, if I'm not mistaken, or 4.3, something like that. Might have to redo my entire cards again. Uh-oh. What's wrong with them now? That's game dev, though. You know, I mean, you guys have seen how many times I've redone systems in this game. And it didn't work. And it didn't work. Is this really not working? What's going on here? What if I set this to make static? Make static? Nope. Oh, it almost worked. Did you see that? There was a brief flicker. Oh, actually, I think it is correct. Actually, yeah, let's put this back here. So it's almost working. Okay. Unlocks probably doesn't work. Yeah. That's probably a separate issue. But if I go back to menu, close that, go to continue. Nope, there's still a line going there. What the heck, man? Well, let me check something. Maybe. Turn sync to physics off. Let me try something. Maybe if I just zero out those velocities. I also turned off sync to physics, so maybe that won't work. Let's just check the unlocks, though I know it's not going to work. Oh, it's closer. It's closer to correct. Okay, that's good. Quit to menu. Oh, is it working? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Now I'm wondering if I need all these process modes. Can I just do rope top level physics dot process mode is equal to process mode enum dot disabled? Okay. I'm going to try to see what code I can strip down now. Because if I can get rid of a lot of that junk, that would be nice. Okay, that's a good sign. So hopefully the character screen works the same now. Okay, so that's good. Now the question is, do I even need this process mode anymore? Let's just get rid of that entirely and see what happens. They are far big deck browsers in the new screen. Oh, I see. If you open character select, aren't there two instances of the character at the same time? Maybe they share a resource or something. I don't... Oh, you mean like when I open the unlock menu. Let me think about that. No, they're separate. They should be entirely separate instances. But maybe they shouldn't be sharing their collision information either. The only thing that they would share would be the collision shapes, but that's okay. The shapes don't carry any data about whatever physics simulation is happening, so it should be all right. Hey, it works in this screen. Oh, but it goes absolutely bonkers when I scroll. Oh, that's not good. So I'm kind of in like a little bit of a pickle here because I need like a little local physics simulation that is not affected, that is only affected really by the character arm motion. Because if I do this, that creates not a good effect either. Oh, dang it. Well, I mean, there's a couple of ways to fix that. If I move the camera, that's not a problem because it's not actually moving in world space. Why is it broken in here, I wonder? Okay, I'm gonna try some other things here, but let's get rid of this for now. That. Okay. I have some other ideas. Hello, Neozoid. Been lurking in the background always. Welcome, welcome. Son of a bee. Not too shabby, kind of like it. Thank you. Far too big. Yeah, I got what you meant. How much will this game be? We haven't yet decided on a price, but I would expect it to be around the same price as similar games in the genre. I sometimes make mistakes, yeah. Yeah, that is a problem, Macy, for sure. We'll fix it. What's the hotkey? I don't know, Neozoid. You asked this on the last stream and also in the Discord. I don't know what the hotkey is. I don't know. They are stretched when you open the menu. It's kind of fun though. Yeah, viewport is what I was thinking. I want to try seeing if I can do like a little local thing again. I don't know if that's going to work though. But I may have to do a viewport, which kind of sucks. Way too impractical, but what if the visual of the character is just a render texture of them so physics happen locally? Yeah, that's the idea of the viewport. I don't think I would have to do the whole character in a viewport. I think I could just do the physics simulation in a viewport. And then change like that animatable body position to be, you know, whatever. And then take that viewport texture and render it in the right spot. Well, that's going to be the other problem. Oh, maybe not though. How would that actually work? Yeah, I think viewport's going to be a little bit heavy, a little bit complicated. So I'm going to try one other thing first. And if that doesn't work, we may have to use a viewport. One of the best pixel art style I've ever seen. Congrats, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very nice. Is there any collision shape in the menu? No, there's no collisions in the menu. As a matter of fact, the only collisions that exist at all in this game are here. This is the entire collection of physics bodies in the entire game. There are literally no collision shapes anywhere else. Or bodies or anything like that. Which is interesting. I think this is like the first game I've made that has not had any physics 2D. What's a viewport? A viewport is essentially like a separate... It's a separate view that gets rendered. So it's got like its own world and everything. You could think of it like that. And you can set up your tree to render in that viewport, and the viewport captures only that subtree. The viewport is not affected by anything else in the game. So it's like its own little miniature world that you can render stuff in and do stuff in. And then what's nice about that is that you can capture the viewport texture, the viewport window texture, and use it for like a shader or use it as a sprite or something like that. So the viewport approach would essentially be do the physics for the rope inside of the viewport. And that means that it will just always be like a local thing, right? So it won't be affected by any movements or UI or anything like that. And then we just grab the texture from that viewport, which will just be like a snapshot of like what the current frame of that viewport is. And we will display that on like a Sprite 2D or something. And so that would work, but I want to try something else. I'm going to break everything. We're just going to put this here. We're going to get rid of the whole top level stuff altogether, and we're just going to try this. I'm going to get rid of all this initialize physics stuff. We're just going to see what happens here. So see, that's one of the problems there. The other thing that's going to be kind of unfortunate is I'm probably going to lose a lot of the motion if I do a viewport. But see how it's like basically not moving at all right there? And that's because... Actually, I wonder if there's like a hybrid way of doing this. So if I do this, top level physics, if we move the pin joints here, so we let the skulls be at top level, but then this rope root, that's probably going to be the same thing. Yeah, it's almost exactly the same problem. Oh, you know what though? Wait, the reason why that's not working is because it's getting paused, right? If I do always, or no. Yeah, if I do process mode always. No. I was close. What's puzzling about this case is I don't know why the physics isn't even processing there to begin with. Okay. So that's not working. Let's try one more thing. Oops. I'm just destroying this scene right now, but we're going to get it to work. Gee dang it. Nope. Okay. Let's see if we can get the viewport approach to work, I suppose. What do you feel about Godot's UI layout pipeline after your tech career? Was your tech background related to front-end things like Vue or React? Yeah, I was a full-stack developer, so I used a lot of React. CSS, all that stuff. I think Godot's UI layout is fine. I mean, it has a lot of different ways of doing things. I mean, I certainly think, you know, you're not going to beat the flexibility of like CSS when it comes to layout and theming and everything. But, you know, Godot's UI system is plenty powerful. Like, you can do a lot with it for sure. It just, you know, it's just a little bit counterintuitive, especially if you come from like a web background. But yeah, I got React PTSD. I kind of like React. I mean, React got a lot better when they introduced hooks, because in the older versions of React, right, you had to like waterfall all of your props down the tree. But now that you can create like providers and custom hooks and stuff, that makes it a lot nicer to work with. But anyway, this is not a React stream. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we're going to try the viewport approach. So I'll be right back. All right, it's me, I'm back. Let's see what we can do here. So the hard part about the viewport is not going to be even like setting up the viewport and stuff. The hard part about the viewport is going to be getting the hands local translation or getting the hands translation kind of passed along to the viewport in the proper way. But anyway, let's do a sub viewport. We're just going to give it a relatively small size. Let's see. What would it be an appropriate size? Would 64 by 64 be enough? Oh yeah, 64 by 64 would be fine. So let's do 64 by 64. All right, render target always, update mode always. We are going to disable 3D. I don't think any of these things is really necessary. We want the transparent background for sure. Handle input locally, snap 2D transforms. Do we need anything else? Variable rate shading, default texture filter, nearest. We'll just make sure like everything is off that can be off. We'll just turn off oversampling. I don't think it makes a difference, but okay. So now here's the good part. We can get rid of a huge chunk of this tree by just putting the sub viewport in there. Okay, and then what we probably want to do though is we probably want some kind of node 2D in here that is like in the middle of the sub viewport. So we'll just call it like root or something. We'll call it sub viewport root. Transform, we'll set it at 32 by 32. Actually, I should probably put these in there first and then set that to 32 by 32. Oh, do I need a... So wait a minute, the skulls, right, the skull, oh, interesting. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit confusing. The skulls are set, oh. The skulls are pushing their transforms to here, but I probably want this to put the skulls back. I guess the rope lines need to be there as well. Oh, I have a lot of stuff to do. Let's do, okay. Let's get rid of these remote transform 2Ds. Skull 1 visuals goes here. Okay. Skull 2 visuals goes here. And then we can get rid of this stuff. We don't need that. The rope lines need to go here as well. Okay, so here's our sub viewport now. This rope root, let's just set it to 0, 0. Actually, oops. Okay, let's just do this. What is this? So minus 10 plus 15. Okay, so we want to set all of these to, whatever. We'll just do 0, 0. Okay, this one is, oh. So that's 0. This would be 2. Skull 1 is 0. This would be plus 15 is 4, right? Yep. This one, 0. 4 again. And then this transform. Where's the transform? What the heck? Oh, it's down here. This would be negative or positive 10. Okay. All right, so here's my sub viewport. So now we need this. So here's what I'm going to do now. So we've got the skulls here. This will go away. And instead what we're going to do is we're going to have a sprite 2D That sprite 2D will go here. This will be the rope simulation texture or whatever. I don't know what to call it. This texture will be a viewport texture, which will point at the sub viewport there. Okay. Now, since this... I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. So I'm going to have to align this texture with where it's supposed to be. So if I'm assuming that the texture or that the simulation is centered around the hand point here, then probably what I want to do is I'm going to have to clean all this up. Oh gosh. Well, let's just get it working first. So remote transform 2D, we're just going to put the position onto this rope simulation texture. Because again, the simulation is going to be happening as if it's in the middle. Oh, wait, is that what I want to do? I'm going to need another... Let's turn the animation tree off. I'm going to need another... Why does that look wrong to me? Because it is wrong. That hand position is not correct anymore. Well, that would explain that. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. I don't know how that happened, but okay, anyway. Godot lacks two-way binding, and to me it's kind of torture to change state manually, so I thought you'd feel the same. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I guess each approach has its pros and cons. So anyway, so why did I do this? Because what I want to do is I need to add... So here's what I need to do. I need to add a marker 2D. This is going to be the rope. I'm going to need to change all these things as well, but we're just going to get the happy path working. This would be the rope simulation route. That goes there. And so the reason I need that is because as this thing animates, I need to be able to know like what is the rotation and offset of the hand compared to the root position. And then I need to apply those differences. I mean, I can get the rotation, right? I just take the global rotation or whatever. That's fine. But I need to know what the position difference is so I can move it in the simulation. So we've got the rope root here. And we've got the rope simulation root, we'll just call it position. Or maybe, actually, maybe I don't even need that. Maybe I use the sprite for that actually. So let's, yeah, I don't think I need that actually. This is gonna be buckets of fun. Let's get rid of this remote transform 2D. Okay, so the rope simulation texture. So this is gonna stay here. That's gonna stay there. So as the character animates, that texture is gonna stay in that spot. And so we can use the texture's position, the sprite 2D's position, to get the difference between that and the rope target position. Okay. Hold on, give me just 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I need to figure out this stuff, but I also have some comments in the chat. When do you use an animation tree versus just having an animation player play different animations at different times? So the only reason I'm using an animation tree here is so that I can blend between the idle and the run, right? And the reason is because it just looked janky to go immediately from the idle into the run, but also like stopping the run animation as soon as you reach like your endpoint, like the map node, right? So by doing a blend space 1D, I can control the blending between those animations, and it just looks a little bit more natural, the transition. So that's the only reason I'm using an animation tree right now. Usually I just play the animations standalone when I need to, but on certain occasions, being able to do like animation blending is very useful. So yeah, that's why that's here. Anyway, gameplay or game dev is so weird sometimes, taking crazy amounts of time on unexpected stuff. Yeah, that's how it goes. Crazy to see how much that already evolved since the trailer. Yeah, making good progress. Yeah, we'll see. I just gotta, these next couple months are gonna be very, very, very busy. But I think, you know, this is the point, like we were talking about earlier with the deadlines. I think, you know, that now that the deadline that I have is coming up, I think I need to be ruthless in like what I pay attention to, and I may even like just disregard everything and just focus on getting all the content done. And then I'll just like work through the rest of the polishing, quality of life and balance stuff after that. Because that's the most important thing to get done, right? Like I think having the content done first and foremost, that seems wrong too. What the heck? Having the content done first and foremost is going to be the most important thing. Oops, I turned the wrong thing to inactive. Reset. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to stop messing with these animations now, because we need to get this rope simulation working. So we've got the rope root and we've got the rope simulation texture. So let's do... Yeah, all of this stuff is correct except for this rope target position. This is wrong, so this needs to change. So this needs to be rope rope root. No, let's do rope simulation texture dot. I guess we'll just do global position dot. I'm just looking through this. I thought there was a way to do the vector subtraction in a better way. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe I'll do that right now. Is there no way to get like a vector subtraction in a very easy way? We have direction to. What does this return? It returns a normalized vector. Well, I guess I won't worry about it just yet. But anyway, we'll take the rope target position dot global position minus that. So var difference. Okay, and then we do rope root dot global position is equal to difference. Rope root dot global. Actually, I was only ever changing the position, right? So I think that's probably okay. So we're just going to change the rope root's position based on this difference here. And this rope simulation texture, we're going to put this in the visuals right root at the bottom. Oops. Which actually I could probably collapse all these visual nodes into the same, assuming this works, but let's just see. All right. I probably did something wrong, but let's see what happens. Yep, I did do something wrong. Object reference not set to an instance of object. Rope simulation texture. I forgot to mark that as a unique name. Also, I forgot to remove some references. Skulls, top level physics, rope, global rope, and rope simulation texture. So skulls, top level physics, and rope global root. Okay. Oh, I still have this initialized physics. I mean, I might as well just get rid of that. Okay. Hello, V. Welcome back. Good to see you. Should I learn this animation tree player? I use animated sprite 2D. What's the difference? Animation trees are really only useful for blending. Blending animations. So I don't think, I mean, I think there are definitely other uses for animation tree. I am admittedly not that familiar with animation tree myself. So, oh, there's an issue with that. Ah, there's so much to do. But yeah, I don't know, like animation tree is one of those things where you can learn it when you need it, but I don't think knowing how to use it when you're starting out with Godot is all that important. Okay, I just realized that this is not correct. This needs to be rope root.position. It's close to working though, I think. That's not taking into account the scale now either. So you can see that it's moving, these are moving the opposite direction of the arm when the arm is up. So this needs to account for the scale. So this would need to be difference times, let's just do rope target position dot global scale. Rope simulation texture. I think that will work. And then assuming that works, we can test all the other cases too. Oh, it did not work. So wait, if this flips to... No, I don't think that was right, actually. Why is that not working? Rope target position at global position. I mean, that should work, actually. Why is that not working? I don't know why that's not working. Oh, wait, it's still... Oh, I didn't save the script. Classic. It's still going the other way. Why is that happening? Oh, let's look at the remote scene tree. Okay, we'll pause the game. Okay, there's my sub viewport. Rope route. Position, oh, the position is correct. So we've got the game paused here. The position is right. Oh. Oh, it's because the texture is being scaled. Oh. It's because this is essentially being scaled like that, which is inverting the direction. Oh. So this needs to be like flipped. Oh, okay. So wait a minute. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I can either set flip H on the texture. This is a mess. rope, simulation, texture, remote transform. Goodness gracious. So I'm just going to do this because this is going to be easier, but all I'm going to do is I'm just going to transform. I just want to transform the position. Okay. The problem was the whole texture was being scaled with the rest of the character when it gets flipped, and so that was kind of like inverting the... There we go. Okay. All right, all right. So now there's another really tiny detail, which I may want to fix. Or do I? No, I don't need to fix it. Wait, do I need to fix it? Why don't I need to fix it? Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, the skull, the lighting of the skulls is on the wrong side now. Which may have been a problem before as well. So I don't know if it's really worth paying it that much attention to. I think what I have to do is detect a scale change and actually flip the skull sprites in the H direction, but let's just see if this is working now. And it's not working. Why do the physics not run in this screen? That may be related to a change I made here. Let's just do keep active on these. I don't even care anymore. Y'all made me mad now. Keep active. Let's see what that does. We're just not ever going to disable the physics simulation because we don't need to do that. Actually, that's probably not going to fix it. It doesn't fix it. Okay, well... We're almost there. Can you not just subtract the vectors the other way? No, that wasn't the issue. The issue was the whole... I mean, I could force the sprite texture to be like globally, have a global scale of 1. I may actually change how I'm doing that sprite texture, but imagine making game software like this. I don't care how that's possible. There's nothing special. I'm not doing anything magic. The only thing that I have is experience. That's it. The only thing I have is experience. After long nights and years of wrangling Godot. What the heck, man? Why is that not working? Oh, gosh. Well, the sub viewport is, like, working, at least. But I was really hoping that would fix it in the unlock menu. Does it work here? Okay. So the physics are happening in here. What the fudge? What the fudge, man? And if I go to the character select screen, we shouldn't see any weirdness. And also, these aren't gaining momentum based on the other movement. So, like, that's really good, actually. That's really good. So we have it working in 3 out of 4 cases now. Oh, Daddy Longlegs. Hello. Let's break his legs for fun. Oh, I gotta transfer the board. Oh, there we go. Okay. Anyway. I'm like completely, unbelievably confused about why that's not working. That is so bizarre. What's happening? The only thing I can really think of is that the tree is being paused. And maybe the tree being paused has a problem with, or maybe it doesn't run physics. So let me, scene tree paused. Here we go. 2D and 3D physics will be stopped. There we go. As well as collision detection. Is there any, oh gosh, is there any way to not stop physics when paused is true? Well, I did set the node process mode here, but do I need to explicitly set the process mode on all of these things as well? Let's just try that. Always. Let's see what happens. So pausing does stop physics. Always cracks me up when there's a pause followed by "this is a mess." Yeah, the legs thing is so funny. I like that a lot. Might be something with two instances of the same scene and viewports. Might be local to the scene or something like that. No, like I think that's a good theory, but I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening. I'm pretty sure it's because the tree is paused and it's disabling the physics server. Now, fortunately, because I'm not using physics anywhere else, what I could do is I could do what Google has told me here, which is to use the physics server 2D set active. I'm going to look at the Reddit as well. Where am I actually setting the tree to paused? I'm setting the tree to pause in a bunch of different places. What I don't understand is why is the physics server... So I guess the physics server is a singleton and it just does everything for all viewports. I would expect each viewport to have like its own little ability to do the physics simulation, but I guess not. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, let's try one other thing. Change these to keep active again. Disable mode, keep active. So I've got everything set to process always. I've turned that on to keep active. It's probably not going to work, but we'll check it out, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't work. I have an idea. I write my own physics simulation for this, specifically. It's a good night for me. Good luck. Thank you, Johan. Appreciate that. Have a good night. Oh no, indeed. Yeah, I mean, I may just have to... Whenever the tree becomes paused, I may just have to individually set... So here's the pause menu. Let me just try this, right? Physics server 2d.set active to true. So we're just gonna like force it to true. I just want to see if that works. If that works, then what I probably need to do is streamline, create a single point through which I call like pause or which I request pause. And then whenever the pause gets set, I will have to override that physics server. Okay, that works. That's unfortunate. I wonder why you can't... Can I set bodies as active? Activates or deactivates the 2D physics server. 2D and 3D physics will be stopped. Well, I know that this is the fix here, so I'm just going to have to... I'll just have to go through all these places where I call paused. I'll probably just need to do like some kind of centralized, you know, like game events.pause or something. And just make sure all my pause requests go through that, so that way I can toggle the physics server back on. But in any case... I'm just going to undo all these things, like just get rid of all of this. Process mode, set this back to inherit. Process. Okay, let's do some cleanup here. I know I have a way forward now, so let's just do some cleanup here, figure out what I do and don't need. Do I want to flip the skull textures as well? I probably should. Okay, so let's do something here. Character animation component. Public delegate void. Flipped. Let's just do scale changed. I'm just gonna simplify this to is flipped. Okay. Emit signal, scale changed. Var flip is equal to this. Flip, flip. Reset scale. Emit signal, scale changed. Flip is false. Okay, character paladin, character animation component dot flipped, or scale changed plus equals on scale changed. Scroll down here, private void on scale changed. Skull one visuals dot flip h is equal to is flipped. Skull two visuals dot flip h is equal to is flipped. Now I could do the same thing for this rope simulation texture, so I could get rid of this remote transform 2D. I could get rid of that, put the rope here, and then change the global scale. Although I think I would have to do that every frame though, so maybe I won't do that. Or I could just flip that texture as well. Rope simulation texture.flip h is equal to is flipped. I think that will work. So I can get rid of that remote transform 2D. That makes it a little bit simpler. What else can I do? And actually, now that I've done that, I don't need these two separate visuals roots. I can merge those things, but maybe it's not worth the effort right now. Okay, let's just make sure I didn't break anything. Why is the tree paused in the unlock menu? It's the pause menu, yeah. It seems like Godot should have some way to pause aspect of the tree. You know, honestly, well, I was going to say maybe I don't even need to pause the game. I mean, maybe I don't need to pause the game, because what I could do instead is like detect if I'm in combat and set the combat speed to 0. And that would work. But I think it's probably simpler just to pause everything. Man, all this work just for this one... Not even the character, it's just that one feature of the character. Yeah, well, it works. That's the important thing, and I have a path forward for how to fix that final issue, so... Yep. Okay. Fix Paladin rope once and for all. Did the platform texture, I did the board size. So still not done, but that's all right. Does this map generators like preset IDK if it's set like that? Yeah, it's procedural generated. So yeah, the map is different every time you play. Maybe just freeze animation of the whole character in the menu. Yeah, that is an option, but I kind of like the way they look when they're animated. So I'd like to keep that. I mean, I have a solution for how to fix this now, so I'm not worried about it, but use the new forum part of Discord. Very nice. That should make it easier for you to like keep up with updates and feedback on your game. Hopefully. If it doesn't work, then you don't have to use it, but anyway, that's it for the stream for today. Got a lot of streaming done, so that's good. Got a lot of work done. There's so much work to do. But this is where deadlines are important. I'm going to have to make very careful decisions about what I spend my time on. Probably shouldn't have spent that much time on the rope thing, but whatever. It's fine. So yeah, I think the main focus now is just going to be trying to bang out as much content as possible. I think let's do this for the streams for this month, I think. I think this month, let's just focus on making content. We're just going to do new items, new artifacts, like... I'm gonna have you hold me to it. If you ever see me working on anything on the stream for the rest of this month that is not content, keep me on track. Anyway, you can wishlist Alka Mortis on Steam. It'll be coming out later this year, and the year is we're over halfway through the year already. So, but yeah, that's that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Amindios. Appreciate that. Thank you, Clickertail. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.